Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to be testing the alerts we just created in the past two videos. To start, make sure that your Python server on your Windows box is running, and on your Zeek box, you have Z-Control deployed. Okay. If it's been a while since you've last run these scans, you can just follow the video where we set up the attack and execute it. Okay. It's going to be more of a shorter version, and then we're going to dive into Elastic and look at our alerts. So making sure this is running here, let's now go into our Parrot OS box. And we're going to run an Nmap scan on that port 8000. Now we can see some of the requests come in. And they should have that Nmap user agent. Okay. Back to our scan. We can see the test was completed. And this is the same data that we saw on our first go around. Okay. So let's go to Elastic now. And what we could do is just sit on this for a bit. We do have the alert set up to run every 5 minutes. So I'm going to wait a bit and then cut the video to when the alert generates. Hello and welcome back. As we can see, our web scanner alert triggered, and there's going to be some demo here. Just going to click through this really quick, just get out of the way. All right, let's back this out. So what we can do is take a look at our alert. We can view details by clicking this expansion button here. If we scroll up, we can see all the information that we put in the alert. We can see the severity, the risk score, the name, the MITRE values. Okay. And what's interesting is you can see Elastic attempt to create a story based off of different fields contained within the alert and the log. So you can see we have a network web event source with source IP and the source port and the destination IP and the destination port. And it created a low web scanner activity-nmap alert. It's pretty interesting here. In this case specifically, it triggered on a post request. And if we scroll down, we can see that it suppressed 3 alerts. So that's interesting. Our suppression worked and confirmed by this little section here. And if it makes you create a test case in the first wizard, I'm just going to go ahead and delete the test cases. Not too interested in that right now. So here we can confirm our alert worked. All right. We could also look into this further. If we click the rule here, let's say it's been a while since we created it. It brings up the alert and it shows us a nice trending timeline of when the alert triggered in the past. It looks to be 24 hours. All right. So that's test number 1. We can see that the alert fired from our Nmap scan. All right, now let's do this again with Nikto. Make sure that worked, okay? Now it's important if we ran just this scan again within the same 5-minute window, it'll still get suppressed. So what you can do to make sure that the suppression isn't activated is go under security into manage. We're going to go into this rules tab here. And we can see our web scanner activity. It was last run 44 seconds ago. Okay, so what you can do is either lower the timing on this alert. So theoretically you could run this every minute on the minute, or you can just wait until this last run was over 5 minutes ago. So again, to save time, I'm going to cut the video here, wait till it says 5 minutes ago, and then we're going to run our Nikto test. Hello and welcome back. It's been a couple of 5-minute increments at this point. I went and took a break, and to spare you all the time of just watching the scan slowly progress, I kicked it off, and now we have the completed scan, and we can see everything that we saw in our previous test a couple of videos ago. We can see that downloads folder. We can see the simple HTTP server getting detected. Okay. What we could do is go back into our instance and we could refresh this page to see when it was last ran. All right, so we're at 1 minute. We're going to need another couple minutes for this to trigger. I'll cut the video here and we'll see what happens. Hello and welcome back. Now that our alert has triggered, we can actually see it trigger 2 alerts. All right, so we see our first Nmap scan right here, and we can confirm this by clicking the View Details button and seeing in the JSON the Nmap scripting engine user agent. Okay. And looking into our next alert here, we can do the same thing. And we can see the Nikto and the user agent that this alert picked up on. Okay. So our web scanner alert detected both the Nmap and Nikto activity. And then since we generated a lot of web traffic from our Nikto scan, we triggered the excessive web traffic alert. And if we open this one up, you can see how Elastic doesn't really give you the clearest explanation on what's going on. You can kind of read through it based off of these highlighted fields. So we can see it's a threshold alert. There's 6,000 events within this event count, and it was triggering from the source IP. Okay. So this is great. Both of our alerts are functional and doing what we want to do. And we can move on to our last test just to make sure that excessive web traffic is picking up all our scans. What we can do is go back into Parrot. And if you don't remember, you can go to Applications, Pen Testing, Most Used Tools, and then OWASP-ZAP. Copy my IP address. We can let this run. All right, we're going to click this automated scan button here. And we're going to put in our IP address and port combination. I'm not going to kick it off quite yet. We have to make sure our threshold is passed for the excessive web traffic. Okay. And I'll cut here to save some time. All right, welcome back. Let's go back to our Parrot box and let's kick off the scan. And we could really let this run as long as we want. Okay. And we can go back into Kibana and wait to see if we have more excessive web traffic alerts. All right, and welcome back from our last fast forward of this video. Okay, so once we refresh this and the alert triggers, we can see that we have a 4th alert here. And viewing the details, we can see quite a large amount of traffic. Okay. And now that with this trigger, we can go back here and stop the scan. Okay, so going back to the alert, we can see the threshold was breached, similar to our last alert from the Nikto scan. But we don't really get too much more information contained within here specific to what kind of activity might have generated this. So this is pretty generic, right? We're really just looking for a large amount of traffic, and that's about it here. And one last how-to closing out this video here. To get rid of these alerts, if you don't want to see them anymore, you can just highlight them all here, click Selected for Alerts, and mark as closed. If you have this filter set to only show open, that will prevent these from generating. If there's no open tickets, it won't let you select open. So as we do more testing and generate more open tickets, we can filter just on open, and that'll remove all these old alerts here. All right. So at this point, we've created our first 2 alerts. We created an alert on the user agent string, and then we created a threshold alert on excessive web traffic. So this concludes our first, what I've been calling Hello World example of detection engineering. I hope this has been helpful. And in our next section, we're going to go over a more complex example, and we'll make detections off of that. I'll see you in the next one.